Ford CEO Jim Farley, you've got to say he's the father. I mean, he's literally the father of the NACS generation. I'm kidding here, I'm joking, but I mean, he did open the floodgates, to be fair, for the NACS Tesla charging standard to become the North American standard. That's a good thing. People should be thanking him for that. That will benefit Ford customers. It'll benefit General Motors customers. It will eventually, not at the start, but it will eventually benefit Tesla customers as well, and Tesla investors in particular. Now, Ford CEO Jim Farley had this to say recently. He had some interesting comments where he said, we've got to improve our EVs. Our engineers need to get better. He also said there's a big problem with the F-150 Lightning. And the reason he said this is because he went on a literal road trip with the Lightning and discovered what he thought was a pretty major issue with the vehicle. And other people have shared that they had the same issue as well. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Great to have every one of you. Welcome back to everyone else. Ford's F-150 Lightning. Jim Farley recently took it on a drive. Obviously, he was hearing customer complaints about it. The biggest one was the charging issues they were having. And so then he's gone and he thought, well, I'm going to see what it's really like in the real world. He's driven the car. He's realized that, yes, charging is a problem. The charging networks are not very good. They're unreliable. Charging speeds are not that good either. F-150 Lightning charging speeds are not that good. He realizes that the F-150 Lightning can be a better vehicle for that reason, if it has better charging and if it has longer range and faster charging for the actual vehicle architecture. It's got 150 kilowatt charging, which is obviously not really quick enough for a battery pack that big. Very, very big battery pack. It takes a long time to charge it. Of course, that led to Ford making the big decision to open the NACS floodgate. Now, initially everyone was like, whoa, Ford, what the hell? What are you doing? You're joining the dark side here. You're going down the Tesla route. Because, I mean, a lot of people said Tesla's hubris was showing when they claimed that the NACS chargers should be in the North American standard. But keep in mind, about 70% of the EVs driving around in North America right now are Teslas. So it did make sense. Plus it made sense because Tesla's supercharging network was the best and their NACS charging system was clearly a technological advantage versus CCS. Anyhow, what else did Jim have to say? Well, he said this about the deal with Tesla. He said he certainly does not regret it in any way, shape or form. He said, I'm sure glad we did that Tesla deal. All the Ford people retrofitted get an adapter and an app on their phone that allow them to connect to a supercharger network. Now, that's pretty cool. I've got to say, Ford's CEO Jim Farley, he has said a few crazy things that I don't agree with, but in general, I think he's a pretty good CEO. Earlier this month, Jim Farley embarked on a 1,100-mile road trip to see the electric vehicle transition in action. He started his journey in Silicon Valley, made a stop in Los Angeles, and ended his trip in Las Vegas. Through the course of this journey, Farley was able to meet with numerous electric vehicle owners, including Tesla drivers and EV advocates. So a lot of just average Joes were approached by Farley and his henchmen, not his henchmen, but his team that he was traveling with, and they had a chat. These people included Ryan Levinson, a longtime EV owner and founder and operator of The Kilowatts, a clean energy advocacy brand and an EV rental fleet. Levinson was able to speak with Farley during the Ford CEO's stop at Laguna Seca. That's the racetrack, by the way.
I took the trip because we're tripling Lightning production. As we speak, we're just finishing the Dearborn plant. We capacitized for 20,000 Lightnings. The demand was more like 150.
During their conversation, Farley noted that he's glad Ford was able to secure a deal with Tesla to use the EV maker's supercharger network. And that's when he mentioned that he believes that was a really good idea. Farley also said how he's very much aware that Ford's support for NACS opened the floodgates to the charging standard's mainstream adoption. After Ford, General Motors very quickly announced that they would join NACS as well. And then who else do we have? We have the first Japanese automaker finally joined, Honda, Acura. Of course, there's others, Mercedes, Rivian, and a number of others. Of course, Volvo too. What I find most interesting about all of this though is that Ford had clearly already thought about this happening. Jim Farley said, Ford's decision to use NACS charging was a long time coming. And according to Teslarati, it involved the automaker admitting that Tesla's charging standard was actually superior. Farley stated that eventually adopting the NACS charging was just a no-brainer. He said, when Doug Fields came to the company a year and a half ago, we started having this debate about the plug itself, whether this committee designed plug is competitive with Tesla's plug. Obviously it's not. We all started having plug failures and we'll run them over and they're broken and all sorts of stuff happen. And it became very, very clear to all of us as leaders that NACS is a better solution. It was engineered better. I hate to say it, but it was. Kudos to him. That's hard to say as a CEO. I've got to say full credit to him for making that comment. So then we started talking to Tesla because we thought it'd be good for them and the industry. And that kind of stopped a couple of years, maybe a year and a half ago. And then it got started up when the IRA got passed because I think Tesla would get money from the federal government to expand the supercharger network if it was a standard. And at the same time, we became number 2 in EV sales in the US. They're not right now, by the way, but anyway. So we started talking with Tesla really seriously for a while. It was just a no-brainer for us, said Jim Farley. So anyway, I think the key takeaway for me is this. We really, even though Tesla made this network, they made this incredible supercharger network. How does a startup do that? It's absolutely amazing that they did that. They invented their own plug. It was clearly much better than what everyone else was using. No one else was smart enough to actually say, you know, this is a good idea. I mean, yeah, some other small startups were obviously, we've had other, niche EV companies in the US said that they would use it, but no big automakers said they'd do this. And then along comes Farley and everything changes. So Jim Farley, good work. Tesla, amazing work for making this entire network, which was clearly the industry standard. And now it will definitely improve the experience for all EV owners. Doesn't matter what brand of car you have, it will be a huge benefit to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.